and prepare answers for open-ended questions such as tell me about yourself by making a list of your skills and abilities that match. Generally, the first question that may be asking during an interview may be asked, they may be asking during an interview, the first question, tell me about yourself. Yes, generally this question is a kind of icebreaker between the interviewer and interviewee. This will leave a kind of impression, if you throw some light on the background of the candidate. So, in such a context, a candidate should never use close-ended yes or no questions. You should ask open-ended questions. Your answers to be you prepare answers for open-ended questions. When your answer should not become another question to the employee, it should be open-ended question. When you tell me about yourself, just you should make a list of your skills, your abilities, and particularly you have to see, a candidate has to see that your abilities, your skills are nearer to the expectations and the requirements of the employer. You should see that your skills and abilities are going to match with the employer's requirements. So the closer your skills are your abilities, your traits, individual traits, the more your chances are there that you are going to get the job. So you should leave the interview with such an impression that what kind of what you are going to offer for the what you are going to offer for the interview. Yes, yeah, the candidate should leave the interview hall with such a clear picture what he to what level, to what extent the candidate is going to offer himself or herself to the company. Yes, I was telling you, I was referring to you that in facing an interview, getting selection in a company is nothing but selling oneself to the company. So this selling should be done on a on a best note, on a good note. And so, unless you know yourself, unless you offer yourself to your best, and you cannot do it. Interview cannot be successful. And I was telling you, prove what you could do, and always a positive spin on the answers to difficult questions. Okay, this is another trait. This is a kind of selling yourself to the company, selling yourself. So this selling should be done in on the better terms. Means your skills and abilities should match the company. Your traits, personality traits, your body language, your hard skills and your soft skills, all these things, communication levels, all these things should be up to the requirements of the company. So if these qualities of the candidate are nearer matching or tallying with are nearer to the skills of requirements of the company, is the selling of the candidate will be taking place in a better note. So sometimes there is no such a guarantee, there is no such hard and fast rule that every question should be answered. There is no rule that a candidate should be knowing all the answers to all the questions. There is no such thing. Even in the civil services and highly paid jobs, also the highly coveted positions or posts, also some questions may be unanswered by the interviewees. Interviewees may not be able to tell on answers to all the questions that is there. So no need, no harm, even if you don't know answers to one or two questions, but that should be expressed, that should be accepted in a positive note. So for a difficult question, you should leave a positive spin. Means you should be, even if you don't know, if you know the answer, even if you lack, even if you fall short of a particular skill, you should make them convince that you are going to learn it in a short time. So the every candidate has to keep in mind that all the questions cannot be answered. Some questions the candidate may not be getting answers to, may not be able to answer all the questions, and sometimes a candidate may be lacking one or two qualities expected by a interviewer at the company. In such context, a candidate has to convince the interviewer that he is going to learn the lacking skill in no time, and the candidate can relate some examples, some things like that. For example, in a previous station, in so and so skill you lacked, and you got it in no time. So this is the that this should be done in a positive manner. And another aspect, that companies want to hire people who can hit the ground running. This is a very important phrase, should be kept in mind. Generally, when we run a race, we can't hit the ground while running, but companies want such people who can hit the ground while running. What does it mean? It means that yes, they have absorbed you, they have taken you, and you are appointed as a candidate is appointed in so and so company. And in the during work, in the routine course of time, the company may be willing to send you for internship, or maybe ask to do some course or that. So you should be open to do those, improvise yourself even while being uh, in service. That is what the companies generally expect from such people. Companies such want to employ such people. Yes, companies are interested to hire the people who can hit the ground while running. And while in taking interview, never the candidate should never concentrate on the salary package or the other things like monetary advantages. Of course, it is a motivating factor, but we should never express our enthusiasm or curiosity about knowing the salary. Generally, in some companies, they may publish those things in advance, and some may be kept in may not be revealed. So a candidate should never show his interest towards knowing the salary, and one should do maximum try to make it postponed to the last part of the interview. So till then the interview, the discussion, interview or the discussion should keep going. And then finally, at the end of the only the candidate should try to know the kind of salary they are going to interview. And while attending an interview, a candidate has to take the lead of the interview here. Okay, what is that lead? Generally, the with the kind of body language, with the working interviewer's style, and they may be exhibiting some, they may be leaving some cues, some important tips to understand their body language and then functioning style. If a candidate is intelligible and intelligent enough, bright enough, clever enough, he can catch those leads and he can follow the interview board. This is another aspect that is expected on the part of an interviewer. And another aspect, I told you, I was telling you, referring in the previous slide, the candidate and aspirant has to inculcate, imbibe the habit of listening to the questions what he or she may be telling you. That definitely, the way they ask, the content and intent of the question definitely will leave the lead about the interviewer. So this should be habituated through practice only. One can acquire this quality till waiting till the question is asked. It comes through practice only. So after as accepting the job, after the job being offered, the candidate has to take permission to interact with other co-employees, future co-workers. This is also going to leave a good impression about the candidate. And generally, we come across this phenomena of preparing for the interview. Generally, for high coveted posts, highly paid posts, or so, for who are facing a panel board, or so, they practice interview, attending interviews, taking interviews, or they participating in mock interviews. This will leave the candidate with ample work first-hand experience. And another thing that boosts his morale, a candidate's morale, his or her morale, and it builds the confidence level up of a candidate. So interviewing is the most important skill in a job search. And develop, I was telling you, most of the candidates, while preparing, attending an interview in advance, before the final interview, some people may be writing imaginary questions and answering, or they may be taking part in mock interviews. In mock interviews, some people may be there and they may be giving you the guide, and they may be giving a true feedback. That feedback, because some people are very good at communication, and that feedback will come a long way in identifying your weaknesses and in strengths also. So whatever weaknesses they are pointed out, they can be tried to be mended, and whatever strengths are there, they are further cemented, further fortified. So practicing mock interviews will definitely give an edge to the interviewer, and that will make the candidate have an edge over others. And some people, we have come across many stories. Some people, they write down likely questions likely to be asked, they prepare answers, and they practice attending interview before a mirror. This is a great technique generally, since long many people have done it and they have become successful also. This will make a candidate more confident, and the questions a candidate practices, and definitely they will give an edge that will differentiate a candidate from non-preparation people who don't prepare. So the best thing you can do is practice and more practice. So another thing that as per the psychological research of this research shows that psychologically, the candidate who can know you and who can sell you is yourself. Yes, no doubt about it. Even if even the parents, teachers, however, what kind of background you have, however training you have, what kind of training you have taken, all those things, they don't matter unless you do better, unless you can sell yourself, unless you practice these things, you cannot do well. And even if all kinds of supports are there, even if you don't support yourself, and you cannot do well. So your goal should be to effectively display your qualities such as capability, your confidence level. You have to show that you are more dependable. You have to show them that you are more enthusiastic, and you are flexible enough to change. And when typical and difficult situations come, you should be ready to contribute with your resources